Good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining us today on our latest webinar, which is an introduction to YES Initiative and the ways in which it can improve your BEE scorecard. This webinar will delve into how you can unearth your business and youth potential through YES and watch your BEE scorecard take flight. We also aim to look at a more holistic approach to the YES offering to ensure that you have a positive contribution to your operating environments. Firstly, we'll look at demystifying YES and understanding how to use YES to level up, as well as the more strategic innovation of utilizing YES as a holistic integrated approach to your BEE scorecard. Firstly, we would like to say thank you very much to Dr. Tashmia Ismail-Sabal, who will be joining us as a co-host on this webinar today. Tash thrives on a purpose-led work which has found a perfect outlet in the Youth Employment Service, or better known as YES, which she established and where she currently serves as a Chief Executive Officer. Tash is a truly inspiring businesswoman, having started 4 businesses and serving at the business school faculties. For the past 8 years, she has lectured in innovation, management, and inclusive business in South Africa, Rotterdam, and the Kelley School of Business in the US. Both locally and internationally, her areas of focus have included innovation, inclusive business, digital training, and behavioral research. This has led to some awesome apps and content, which has actually led to thousands of marginalized youth clocking close to 8 million minutes of online business training on 0-rated smartphones. It's truly remarkable work. I cannot get a job without experience, and I cannot get experience without a job. This is where the YES initiative comes in. YES is a joint initiative between business, government, and labour sectors, created to address the South Africa's major youth unemployment challenge that we're facing. YES provides a 12-month quality work experience to the unemployed youth. The aim of YES is to actually reignite South Africa's economy by giving youth their first work opportunity. Having experience on a CV and a reference letter triples your likelihood of a callback within 3 months of a job search. A reference letter also doubles the chances of employment for women. YES rewards companies who invest in jobs with BEE levels up on your scorecard. We will now hand over to Tash, who will give us deeper insight into this initiative. Thank you so much, Tash. We really do appreciate it.
What a lovely introduction to YES, Zan. Thank you so much for that. And yes, you've started to encapsulate what the YES program is about. It's about getting the private sector to join this national initiative and really change the landscape by giving so many young people in communities across our country the hope that they can enter the jobs market, that they can get that dignity, and that they can break into economic participation if they just get that very first opportunity. And we have been able to do this. We've got commitments from close to 55,000 youth. And I'd like to start with giving some numbers just to show how the initiative has grown in 124 weeks and the sort of impact that we've been able to have. So as you mentioned, YES is a joint initiative between business, government, and labour. We have the BEE Gazette, and this BEE Gazette allows for companies to receive a level up on the scorecard if they invest in a certain number of youth jobs. And if they double that target number, a company can move 2 levels up on the BEE scorecard. So the impact of YES to date, as I started talking to, is we have got 54,152 youth work experiences created, and we've got commitments on our books that are going to take this number very quickly to 55,000. I think by next week, we're going to be on the 55,000 mark. We have 1,471 partner company signups, and many of these signups are coming back for year 2, year 3. We even have some year 4s. And this renewals, the strong renewals of company participation in the YES program is very exciting for us, because what it means is we're adding value, we're making the jobs happen, and companies are seeing that there is bang for buck in the program. In terms of the amplification of this program, so what we believe is when you are able as a company to join into a platform that is delivering value with other companies, what you are doing on the BE front gets so dramatically amplified. And you can see this in the number. We've got 3.1 billion Rand going directly into youth wallets from the private sector via the YES platform. You know, if you are doing individualized BE, little scattergun projects, you don't get this sort of national impact and macroeconomic impact. So for us, these numbers are starting to look very exciting because we can see meaningful change and we can see it happening nationally. So we've been getting hold of our alumni. It is quite difficult to get hold of alumni because they change their numbers so frequently, but we've gotten hold of several thousand of our youth that have finished the program already. And 42% of these young people have said that they are in employment. This means that the 1 year of work experience is actually creating pathways for permanent employment, which is very exciting for us. What we do know is that a first work opportunity, a CV and a reference letter de-risks young people and makes it far more likely that they're going to get a second work opportunity. We have empirical data from global studies that show that a reference letter for a woman doubles the likelihood of a job. So when you invest in that youth for the first time and give them that first chance, you're actually unlocking a lifetime of career opportunities for them. And so it's a very, very powerful economic lever when you give young people that first job. In terms of our companies and the benefits they're experiencing, apart from the country building piece and getting these skills into their businesses, we actually think the number is over 500, but we've got 470 verified BE levels up that businesses have been awarded. And what's exciting for us to see is that multinational companies or companies that have a lot of issues with local procurement, for example, or where ownership levels, Black ownership levels are at 0, are actually able to get all the way up to level 2 with YES, where they opt for 2 levels up. And, you know, this wasn't possible before. And so you can move all the way up to a level 2 with the YES program, and you're having this massive impact in market. And then, as Zaan mentioned, we've got smartphones that all of our youth get. And those smartphones have digitally delivered curricula, surveys for monitoring and evaluation. And as a company, you have access to all this data on your dashboard. But what is exciting for us is we're one of the leading agencies in the country in terms of digital delivery of training and learning content, which is all behaviorally based and beautifully designed. And we've got over 8 million learning minutes on that platform. These are some of the companies. Should you join YES, should you be interested? We have got big companies, medium-sized companies, small companies, and on the screen you may recognize companies in market, but we really have got in our 1,800 and something signups, a very beautiful range of companies committing to the program. So here's how it works. Now that you've seen our impact and we've sort of given you a sense of the numbers on the program, we can sort of navigate and guide you through how YES works. So there's a government gazette, and it is available on our website. If you go to the BE benefits page, there's a whole lot of useful links to documents that will give you all the background you need on YES. One of these is the government gazette and the practice note. And that explains to you how you create your YES target of youth jobs that you'd need to invest in order to move up on the scorecard. The way the formula works is it takes 1.5% of net profit after tax and divides by 55,000. It gets a result for that equation, and then it compares it again against 1.5% of your head count or a table that we have in the Gazette. And through that, you will be able to see what your company's target is. If you go to the YES website, there's a beautiful calculator at the YES website, and that calculator allows you to put your own company's numbers in. Once those numbers are in your calculator, you will then be able to see what your target is. And if you invest in that number of youth jobs for a year, you'll move up on the scorecard. It is important to note that this 1.5% of NPAT is purely a mathematical equation to calculate your target. The cost of the YES program is actually lower than that in many cases. And if you do your full target, you move 1 BE level up. If you do 1.5 times your target, you move 1 BE level up with 3 points. And if you do double your target, you move 2 levels up. So you can actually go from a level 8 to a level 6 using the YES program and investing in those youth jobs. So how you can get involved in the YES program, it actually can go beyond just those BE levels. We have companies who give us donations for 18A tax certificates. We have companies who invest in our hubs and in some of our programs, and they claim socioeconomic development points. We have companies who invest in a whole range of training programs at our hubs, and they claim skills development points. If you invest in some of our community programs, township programs on SME development, drones, we have light manufacturing, culinary academies. There you can claim enterprise development points, or you can do what we've described now, which is invest in youth jobs and move 1 or 2 levels up on your BE scorecard. What we propose to a lot of our companies is do something integrated. You know, do your YES level up, but also make investments in those youth on the enterprise development front and the skills development front, so you've got this combined integrated impact of your scorecard. And our team are very happy and willing to talk to you with your RSM agent on how you can do this very powerful model of an integrated scorecard. So we want you to be able to use these youth to bring fresh ideas and skills into your business. And a lot of businesses call us up 3 months into the program and they say, my word, we have found absolute gems in this cohort. You know, we would never have hired youth at this level previously, but now that we've got them in the organization, they really are bringing a fresh energy in. You're able to collaborate with other businesses through YES and have this platform effect and impact. You can try out youth, so you can take in a big cohort and you've got that fixed term contract for a year, and you can actually see which youth you want to keep in your business in terms of your talent pipeline and who you want to invest more in. And the guys who aren't a great fit, you can sort of sift out of the process. So it really is a lovely way to grow your talent pipeline in a safe way. And of course, you are building a future economic opportunity and capacity in South Africa for there to be new cohorts of taxpayers coming about. You know, we've got these really scary numbers in terms of something like 3% of our working age population are paying 60% of South Africa's taxes, which is just not a sustainable place for the country to be in. So we need national strategic plans to build more people coming into the workforce and becoming taxpayers. So this is just a summary again. 1 BE level up, you achieve your YES target. 1 BE level up and 3 points if you do 1.5 times your YES target. So say your YES target is 100 youth you've got to give jobs to for a year. And that is at, you can do that at entry level salary. If you take 150 youth, which is 1.5 times your target, you move 1 level up in 3 points. And if you do 200 youth for a year, that gives you 2 BE levels up. The economic value of this is really fantastic, and we encourage you to do some calculations on seeing how cost effective, not just impactful, but how cost effective YES is. And just to make that very clear, you know, on enterprise and supply development and socioeconomic development, 1% of impact gets you 5 points. But if you are on level 8 to level 7 or level 7 to level 6, you can see that the same impact gets you 15 points, because to move from a level 8 to 7 or 7 to 6 is a 15-point jump. So you can see that yes, because it gives you a whole level, is incredible value for money. Even level 4 to level 3 is 10 points. And then level 2 to level 1 is the same, gets you the same value, around 5 points. But YES allows many companies to get to level 1 that wouldn't be able to do it with conventional BE, but that YES level up can get them to level 1 and level 2. And if there are any questions, please feel free to drop them in the chat box or unmute yourself and throw those questions out. Very happy to answer them. This is just another way of visualizing what I've just spoken about, which is comparisons on spend, what your money buys. where 1% of impact on ESD and SED is 5 points. But if you're moving with, YES on 2% of impact, doubling your target, it's equivalent to 30 points if you move from a level 8 to a level 6. And I hope that, that is very clear, because there is a myth, that YES is an expensive program. But hopefully by showing you these comparisons on point by cost, you can see that it really is comparable, and in certain instances, a lot more cost effective. So again, this is the main YES equation. 1.5% of impact divided by 55,000 gets you your YES headcount target. And that is how we created the 55,000 jobs. And just to give you a sense of costs, an impact table for generic entities, if you are 100 million net profit after tax, if you look at that bottom line, if you're 100 million net profit after tax, 1.5% of that is 1.5 million. Your jobs to reach 1 level is 30 youth. Your jobs for 2 levels is 60 youth. And the RSM teams will make this deck available for anybody who needs it. And you can use this table just as a quick check to say, okay, if I've got 150,000 in impact, that means 1 level is going to be 3 jobs for me. And you can work out the costs of those 3 jobs for a year, which is salaries for a year and a very minimal YES fee. So this just gives you a sense of the registration fees for YES. Obviously, we charge companies differently depending on your size. If you're a very small business, less than 10 million per annum, the registration is free. If you have 10 million and less than 50 million per annum in turnover, it's 2,500. Our most expensive registration fees for very large companies at 20,000 Rand. It's a once-off registration fee. And then we have the YES packages. Again, the cost of the package is dependent on the size of the company. I see a question: how do you ensure that learners complete their training? What are your absconding numbers like? Does the moving up levels apply to companies that do not have ownership points and suffer from discounting? So I'll answer the second one first, which is a very easy one. You do not have to have ownership points. You can be 0 on ownership. I'll give you an example. Oracle, for example, is a company that has 0 on ownership, and using YES and doubling their levels, they've been able to get to a level 2. And the Gazette is very clear. They even give you an example in the Government Gazette of how you are able to qualify for YES with 0 ownership. How do you ensure learners complete their training? Well, look, YES gives every YES youth a smartphone. We encourage companies, we encourage our partners to ensure that they do good recruitment. We don't get involved in your recruitment. You can use whatever agency you want to do your recruitment. And if you get a good fit of a young person into a job, we find that they stay the full year, and our drop-off rates are actually really low. Most of the companies that have joined YES have really gotten into the spirit of the program beautifully, and we have drop-off rates of under 3%. What's also lovely, and this is really important to remember in terms of details, is that the Gazette makes allowance for 5% of your target to drop off. So if 5% of your YES target drops off the program, you don't have to replace them, and you will still qualify for your level up. So there is an understanding from the DTI that this does happen. We are dealing with young people. Many of them have dependents. Things happen in families, and sometimes youth also with transport. So our companies, if they design the program well, if they recruit youth that can actually travel to the place of work and look after them, we find that there's a really good stickiness in the project. And many of these youth are just so grateful to have that opportunity. They do look after it. So back to the packages. In terms of the YES packages, you can place youth inside of it. We can just go back 2 slides, please, guys. So in terms of the packages, this works out. If you're a company between 4 and 12 million impact, the cost of the YES program is 250 a month. And what that gets you is the smartphone for the youth. There's an entire monitoring and evaluation program built into an app on the smartphone. There's a training app on the smartphone, and we use this data to help build the CV and reference letter for the youth, because we pull all that data through the phone. The youth doesn't pay for anything because the data is 0 rated with Vodacom. And so we're able to deliver this data and pull the data back from youth free of charge to both the company and the youth. And of course, all of this data feeds into the verification platform, the BE verification platform that YES has in the background. And all of that you get for $250 a month if you're between 4 and 12 million impact, or a once-off fee of 3,000 Rand. And if you're a large cap company, we qualify that as a company that is over 12 million net profit after tax. In your year one, it's a 5,000 Rand once-off fee, which is about 417 a month for the smartphone and the whole BE system. And in your year two membership of YES, we drop that fee to 4,000. Those phones have got an insurance model attached to them, and we only deliver them to you 6 weeks into the program. So if there are any, early recruitment problems with youth who drop off, it generally tends to be within the first month and a half, and they get their phones after that. Then we have on the next slide, we have a beautiful turnkey package. We've got companies who are, listen, we're this incredible high-tech firm. Our lowest salary at the office is, 60,000 Rand a month job. We just don't have the physical space or, the kind of space that is required, or roles that are required to put 100 youth into our business. We're just not geared for that. And this is why we've created this turnkey solution, where companies who actually can't put youth into their own business can use YES partners. We've got implementation partners across the country in beautiful jobs across sectors. And that will cost you 9,700 Rand for that full package, where they will recruit, contract, and manage youth for that entire year. And you get your BE level up. But you don't need to worry with the administration of the program, but you're still getting youth into very impactful jobs right there in the communities where they need it. And so this is just a summary of the ways in which you can place youth. Yes, you can place them into your own company, or you can get them hosted at a YES partner. It's all contracted. We've got standard contracts. We do thousands of youth through this model, or we've got jobs at our YES hubs, in aquaponics, farming, in production of bags, in culinary academies, drone academies, and digital programs, 3D printing programs. And so you can also place youth in Tembisa, Alex, or Saldana communities with jobs there. So there really is a lot of flexibility in the program and a lot of ways in which you can get involved. And just to show you some pictures of some of the sectors of, we can place youth for you in digital jobs, health-related jobs, finance jobs, education. We work with no fee and underprivileged schools, in digital labs for those schools, in tutoring programs. We have an amazing project in Limpopo, Funda Wanda, that is testing teacher assistants. We've got jobs in manufacturing with sanitary pad production, in communities by young women, in marketing jobs, and in agriculture. There are more than these, but we've just highlighted some of them, and we've got some pictures to show you of what those jobs look like. Entrepreneurship, healthcare, last mile distribution, etc. And I see another question here. Let's answer. Karabo, would we still be responsible for the payroll or salary when the host youth is placed through a third party? Karabo, there are two options. In some cases, companies don't want to do payroll, and the partner very happily does payroll. So all of our partners are willing to do payroll for you. There are some companies who want to manage the payroll. They're claiming ETI back. And so you have the option either of the third party managing it or managing it yourself. And then I see in the Q&A box, there's another question there. How do you ensure, we've answered that one. Great, lovely. So this is just pictures of what our 3 YES hubs look like, and companies are able to invest enterprise development points by investing into these facilities, because we have a lot of SME incubation and accelerator programs to get youth businesses going, and we also deliver training for SMEs at these facilities. So enterprise development, skills development, you can invest via this method. And we are willing to put programs that are close to you. So, for example, Transnet was very interested in a drone program because for mines and for the railway lines, they've got a shortage of drone pilots. Also, in terms of getting young women into these industries, drone piloting is a brilliant career. And so we've got, we assemble these like Lego. What does a community need? What does a company want to invest in? And we put those pieces together to be able to create a hub that delivers on all of those programs. We've got programs that are open for the community, and we've got bespoke programs for youth in your cohorts. And I mentioned some of those programs like drones or aquaponics farming. So there are different pathways for both communities to benefit and the youth in the YES program to benefit from this infrastructure. And of course, the infrastructure has got free Wi-Fi, it's got exposure of a range of careers, so people from the community benefit just by having this facility in the community. So if you were to invest in hubs, there's a direct impact on jobs in our farming, picking, packing, delivery jobs, entrepreneurship jobs, in our CMT, sewing, packing, delivery, and entrepreneurs. Then the second layer of impact on jobs is that we incubate and help small businesses either to start or to scale, and they're employing more people. And then there's ecosystem benefits because we give access to markets to the businesses working at the hub. So, for example, at our Alex hub, we have Huvuco Design that manufactures bags for Life Healthcare's maternity wards. And we got the order from Life Healthcare. We did the design with the Dipstroke designer, and those local businesses are benefiting from that access to markets we've opened. So at the moment, we're busy with an order of 42,000 bags for Life Healthcare. So they're getting their local procurement points, and the businesses are benefiting from learning how to deliver higher quality, higher volumes, and we incubate and accelerate them to be able to fulfill those orders. And then, of course, industry building, because we can expand industry skills at grassroots level. So, you're able to, through the YES program in a variety of ways, train resources for small businesses, train resources for your industry. We can incubate, and we can support with our acceleration programs where we help them with all of the compliance around SIPC, taxes, funding, training, etc. And these are just some final pictures that we can flip through, and I hope that there are some questions we can answer for people. Just beautiful photographs of these amazing faces of young people benefiting from the programs. Here you can see our sanitary pad manufacturer on the top line, where these youth are making sanitary pads which are 100% compostable. And on the bottom line, you can see the Life Healthcare bag with all the jobs in sewing, packaging, quality control, and then dispatch and delivery. Then, of course, this is the YES smartphone. It's digital, real-time monitoring and evaluation on the smartphone. The first image shows you our survey app, where we build the youth's digital presence with digital CVs, pulling data from surveys that they answer over the year. The supervisor of the youth also gets an app, and they've got to fill that survey out 3 or 4 times a year. So we triangulate what we're pulling from the youth and their supervisor into a CV and reference letter. We've got a lot of behavioral design put into this. And this behavioral design means that we are nudging youth towards better behaviors and workplace behaviors. And of course, we've got access to training, 21 modules on workplace behaviors, financial inclusion, financial management, and innovation, and then another 12 modules on entrepreneurship. The question in the chat box, what is youth defined as? So it is 18 to 35. We have youth placed in our 55,000 that range from youth with no matric certificate to youth that have got, that are grads, actuarial grads. So whatever the company needs, the company can place, as long as the youth are between the ages of 18 to 35. And if you are going to be claiming the 1,000 Rand back on employment tax incentive, the ETI, which is the PAYE deduction, those youth need to be between 18 and 29 years of age. If you want to claim ETI and your YES benefits, 18 to 29, YES is 18 to 35. I hope that makes it clear. And of course, you place what you need. So some of our programs in Agri, for example, it gives us a lovely opportunity to place youth who haven't got a matric or just have a basic matric, because they can still learn lots of skills around enterprises and farming without needing those qualifications. And I must remind our viewers that 56% of youth in our country enter the labor market with no matric certificate. So unemployment problem is very big for youth that don't have qualifications. Actually, grad unemployment is quite low. It's about 8%. This is just more on the YES apps. A lot of companies are very interested in what comes to youth on their phones. It's the YES Life app. That is our monitoring and evaluation, surveys and feedback on the youth's learning journey. The YES for Youth app is where we have these beautiful animations, videos. We teach youth about workplace behaviors, financial management, and innovation through storytelling. It's telenovela style stories where youth are navigating the world of work, and they learn the lessons through these young people in these stories who look like them and speak like them. It's very powerful as a trainer. And then the supervisor app is what your supervisors in your business get access to, and they let us know how youth are doing through the course of the year. And then, of course, as a company, you get access to what we call the company portal. You get access to this when you register for YES. The link to the company portal is on our website. And as your youth progress through the year, the live data is fed into these dashboards. So you can monitor their progress throughout the year on these dashboards. So there's a lovely big data system that is feeding both your BE process and the youth journey through the year. And like I mentioned, it's very behaviorally based. This is just more so that if you request this deck, you've got the detail that you need on understanding what content is inside of our program. And this is just the summary slide. We are really thrilled to have been able to address you this morning. We would like you to say yes. If you do say yes, you will be working with one of the highest impact social initiatives in the world. Our numbers, when we present on YES globally, they cannot believe that in 124 weeks in a contracting economy that we've created close to 55,000 work experiences for youth. It really is made possible because we have so many companies committing to the program and working as Team South Africa. We've got a proven track record now. We've delivered 3.1 billion in salaries into market. It's not an accident. This is a structured, beautifully designed program that is having impact. We understand how to scale. You'd be building a workforce of the future. You'd be creating entrepreneurs who contribute to our tax base. We'd be building lasting infrastructure. And of course, you'll be really working with impactful integrated BE, because BE is a powerful mover for macroeconomics in our country and to improve our inequality scores, which are the worst in the world. BE really is a way to do business well and to grow the country at the same time. So we really, really hope that you will say yes and be part of this amazing national initiative. And
thank you very much, Tash.
We
really appreciate your time today. It was really wonderful, and it's an inspiring movement, and we believe that it is going to make a change in this country. And we just want to say that if there are any questions, any additional questions, if you have any questions that you want to direct to myself, Jackie, or Tash, our contact details are now on the screen. So you are absolutely welcome to reach out to us and we can get back to you. And again, just thank you so much for your time today. Thank you, Tash. Thank you, the YES team, for helping us put this wonderful slide pack together. And we look forward to hearing from you. Have a wonderful day.